Hello.
Hello, this is not take two because of my technology.
No, not at all. Welcome to episode 3, I guess. Cool.
Yeah.
To the FMC Book Club podcast. We're your
Woohoo!
FMCs.
Yes, we are. I'm excited for this set of chapters. I find
Yeah.
myself with this book being really almost bummed that I have to just cut off when I have to cut off.
Honestly, I felt the same way. I'm like, I'm ready to
Yeah.
get to the infamous, what is it, plot twist that everyone keeps talking
hmm
about. So,
hmm
but we're zipping through these chapters. They're getting
Yep.
good. Well, they've been good, but we're
They're
starting to
good
get some.
and they're easy.
Yeah.
It's a
And
nice, easy read.
we're starting to get some answers about some things. So excited to talk about it. Question of the
Question of
day.
the day is what is your stance on DNFing?
Good question. I tend to finish books out of spite.
Out of spite for who?
Out of spite for myself. I don't know. Just
Okay.
yeah. So it's funny we talk about this because I read a book recently. It was supposed to be like a quick read, and I know you've read it too because I saw it on your Goodreads. We used to live here.
Oh, you read that recently?
I did. I
I
did.
didn't know that.
So it was me trying to branch out into different genres or whatever. Hated it.
Hmm.
Did not like it.
Interesting.
Did not like it.
Did you listen to the audiobook with it though?
I did not. No, I just read it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Then
Okay.
I don't know what it's like just reading it. I audiobooked it.
That might have made a difference. Because I feel the same way about there was another book that I read. This was a year or two ago. It was Project Hail Mary. And
Oh, you read that?
I did, and I fucking hated it.
Oh, okay.
And I also heard that the audiobook is like a game changer. To I would have loved it. Like that's why people love it so much is because of the audiobooks. So these two books, I sense a theme here. The books that I don't like, I just need to not read it in my own mind because
Yeah.
apparently I just don't like it. But so needless to say, like I will finish a book. I have not DNF'd a
Mhm.
book, a fiction book. All the DNF books that I've done are like fucking self-help self-help books and shit like
Which
that,
we don't do here.
which we
We're
don't.
self-proclaimed. We're not
No,
bettering ourselves. We do not want to
no.
be better people, learn more. We
Yeah.
are purely escaping.
So don't even bother, like, especially waste money on nonfiction books. So
Waste money on nonfiction books.
that sounds
How
so
do you
bad.
really feel though?
Not by nonfiction, I mean self-help because I did read like all the Mindy Kaling, like
Yeah.
her memoirs and stuff like that, and I like those. But anyways, so yeah, so I actually don't DNF books. And
Okay.
I know you've been wanting to read Zodiac Academy, and those are essentially books that I feel like by the time I got to like book 6 and 7, I could not stand it. Like I
Yeah.
didn't know if I could continue. And so if I feel like I can't read it anymore, I will purchase the audiobook to get through it.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a cool strategy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's it. I mean, like I said, don't DNF books. I'll find a way to finish it. I'll finish it out of spite. I'll just
Right.
get
Okay.
find a way to get through it. Yeah, that's me.
That's interesting. So we should talk about Zodiac Academy because I think my hesitation has been raunch, which is something that I want. By raunch, I mean spice, which is uh lovingly known as in the book community.
Right.
Yes. So we should talk about that. That's actually been my hesitation with reading those books. Like I wanted to have a nice long series of books. Like it is a series of books that's like complete where it's like finding a TV show that has a healthy like 39 episodes a season
It's
and
very
you're just
long.
like this is going to go on in the background and it's going to be great.
Hmm.
I guess back to the question itself. For me, DNFing, I really refuse to consciously DNF because I've heard on so many occasions if you just had finished, if you had just read the first one and then gotten to the second one, the series will change your life.
Mm.
So it's really hard for me. Maybe it's like the optimist in me. It's very hard for me to be like, there's no way that this book is going to not redeem itself. And it happens. I actually read I wanted a palate cleanser, super easy, nothing challenging after Onyx Storm.
Mm-hmm.
And so I read a book called The Party, and I didn't like it in the beginning. And to be frank, I didn't like it in the end, but but I wasn't enjoying it, and I was trying to stick it through because I believed like, oh, it's gonna get better. It did get better, but it was very young feeling. Like the book, I was just like, I don't know. I feel like I could be in like fifth or sixth grade reading this.
Mm-hmm.
And the ending ended up being very meh. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's one I wish I could retroactively DNF, but I spent the time, and I guess I just like the feeling of being able to say, like, I read it. I read the
Yeah.
book. I did the
Yeah.
thing. Didn't
Yeah.
love it, read it. I can speak to it, move on with my life.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. Like, I'd like to think that even if throughout the book, maybe I'm not enjoying myself, but there's some redeeming qualities in the end. And you never know unless you
Yeah.
finish the book.
I think that's my personality type is like I want to know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to live my life not knowing whether
Mm-hmm.
I would have ended up liking that or if it would have been like it's kind of a waste of time, but at least I finished it.
Yeah.
Um, but I did also use the word consciously.
Mm-hmm.
There are times where there's a book I'm not really enjoying, and then I put it down. I'm like, okay, I gotta find the energy to pick this back up. And then there are times where I've been like, I just stopped reading that book. So I do not consciously DNF books, but I
Mm-hmm.
do unintentionally without, I unintentionally DNF a book.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like we're book finishers.
We're book finishers. We are not
Yeah.
DNFers.
We're not DNFers.
No.
No.
But because I mentioned Ranch, so we're going to start a little segment called No One Asked because truly no one asked.
No. No one
Um,
wants our opinions. Who are
no,
we?
but that's what the internet is for. Opinions no one asked for and
Exactly.
information you don't need.
Exactly.
Um, so this is really going to be for anything and everything that we want to talk about that we wished someone would ask us about in a conversation. Or someday when we actually have people who watch us and follow us and are just our loyal band
Fans. Yeah.
of fans, that someday the segment will actually be someone asked, but we'll still call it no one asked. So I need to bring up to the people watching at home that Kim and I are part of an awesome book club amongst our dear close friends. And in this book club, would you like to describe kind of how it works, Kim?
Yeah, it's the sisterhood of the traveling books. So I saw this on TikTok, thought it was a great idea. Basically each of us pick a book, and for this round we chose a book that we have not read. So a book that we have not read yet, but is on our TBR, and we send it to one of our friends for them to read, annotate, like write out all of their reactions and all these
Yeah.
things to the
Mark it
book.
up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they send it to the next person, and it just keeps going until we finally get the book that we had chosen and we finally get to read it. But by
Yeah.
then, it's gonna be filled with hilarious reactions and things like that. But May has my
Yeah.
book right now.
For people watching at home, no.
Do you want to? Okay, so the title of the book is Butcher and Blackbird.
Butcher and Blackbird.
Mhm.
And I need to just say before I say anything else. So the order, we send these books in a sequence to each other. So I don't know. So I send it to
Sophia.
Sophia.
Hmm.
Sophia sends it to you, and then
Hmm.
you send it to Ashley.
Hmm.
And then Ashley sends hers to me. So Kim, to start this traveling book series out, sent her book to Ashley. Ashley read it and sent it to me.
Hmm.
I tell you, I have been cackling reading this book. The basic premise plot of this book is there are two serial killers who kill other serial killers. So Dexter.
Vigilantes. Yeah,
Yes, they're
vigilantes. But they're
Dexter vigilantes who are both super hot. And basically the other point of the plot is spice. Spice out the wazoo. Now, Kim's a slightly spicier reader that I think that would be fair to say.
Yeah, especially compared to y'all four, for sure.
Sophia reads like Ruth Bader Ginsburg's.
She really does.
And I've been texting her being like, you're going to need to go see your religious elders.
She's been scared of getting this book since the beginning.
So this is basically, it's just murder and boinking. And it is some of the most, just for, I'm going to give a sneak peek to one of the comments.
Is this your comment or Ashley's?
I'm gonna do I'm kind of flipping through and seeing which one I think might be best. I can do maybe one of both. Let's see. Ashley is one of the funniest people you'll ever meet.
Hilarious. We'll have to have her guest star one.
We absolutely will. And
we should do a sisterhood episode where we just talk about our
that'd be so fun. I would love that. Because one of Ashley's comments, just have mercy. Have mercy. Then there's one of them that she truly, in one of the most disgustingly raunchy parts of the book, Ashley says, I can't believe we're reading this together. Then I commented on her comment and I said, for anyone's a New Girl TV show watcher, do you like, remind me, how much did you watch New Girl? A lot?
I've seen the series once and then I'll watch random episodes. But
so there's an episode where Jess, the main character in New Girl, she walks into the living room. All the guys, the roommates, are acting really weird. And she just walks in. So this is what I wrote down. New Girl quote. Did you guys watch porn again together? Why do you do that together? It's always weird. That's what this book basically is. It's like reading
porn.
Reading porn with your friends. It's just like I need to go see my priest. I need to after this to be absolved of just witnessing this. Not even participating. So
I'm so excited to read this because I just want to know like where my spice level is at compared to all of yours. Because if I freak out the way you guys freak out, I'll feel okay. But if I don't, I'm like, cool.
How would you rank how would you rank the sisterhood in terms of who you think tolerates the least amount of spice, like completely uninterested, versus you? Like where do all of us fall?
Probably that's Sophia at the bottom for sure. And then I would say you're up with me versus Ashley because maybe she hasn't read as much of it.
So I just want to be clear.
What?
Am I up with you?
No. Up towards me, but not with me because we've read. I mean, I guess the only thing that we have read together is Onyx or Fourth Wing.
Yeah.
Because everything else, well, so no, yeah, but
yeah,
that's pretty. No, that's not real. That's like two spicy peppers.
Yeah. Let's put it this way. I don't care for it if it's there in a series that I am reading and I like the rest of the plot and storyline.
Yeah.
Then sure, I'll read it. Right.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely not lingering there. Not like, wow, that was such a great scene.
Yeah.
Like
that's totally me.
Kim's like
oh, that's
thinking
so
about
funny.
it later.
Honestly, it's so funny because I think about my 6-star reads, right? Like the books that I will definitely reread. And the things that stand out to me are the sex.
That's so funny. I love that. It's just funny how people are like, you're either super drawn to that. Me, I tolerate it, but I don't look for it.
Yeah,
right.
Well,
that's why this
I was gonna say that makes me way
Yeah.
up there. compared to all you.
Oh yeah. I honestly, I think Ashley and I are probably somewhere together. We're
Oh
like,
yeah.
we'll tolerate it, but we don't look for it.
Yeah, yeah,
And then Sophia is like hiding under a rock,
yeah. She'll hate it.
like she, and I say that with all the love. Like she is drawn to intellectual books. She is
Yeah.
drawn to that kind of thing. She's not drawn to spice at all. And then
Hmm.
I think you're over there like savoring it.
My own little world, man.
Well,
That's
then
so
you're
funny.
going to cackle your butt off reading this
I'm so
because you're
excited.
not only going to just enjoy, I don't even know that you can call that spice. Like the things they're doing are just unheard of. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
freaking wild. And then you're just going to cackle at the comments. Like this
Yeah.
is, I don't want to give away too much, but I've been cackling reading Ashley's, just knowing how she felt in certain moments is just killing me.
Yeah. That's great.
um yeah,
I'm glad y'all humored me and are reading that, but
yeah,
that was kind of what I
yeah,
was going for. I'm like, what is kind of my bread and butter, but hopefully not like too crazy. And maybe that was too
yeah.
crazy. I haven't read it, but
I would put this in too crazy, but it's a blast
yeah.
in the book club itself for the
Yeah.
reasons that it is just unhinged. This
Yeah.
book is unhinged. And so to like see each other's comments unhinged, but if there was a way in a universe to read this book and then like be able to tell myself and go back and like erase it from my memory, I would go back and tell myself, don't read this or have appointments on your calendar with like, your church and your family and
Your therapist. Yeah.
yes. Yeah, absolutely. So, well, the other thing that I thought would be fun to talk through briefly is just we both read Silver Elite,
Yes.
and
Yes, we
that
did.
is like the talk of the town, or at least it was. It's
It
like
died. It
fizzled
died
just a little
down.
bit,
Hmm.
but so I just thought like our takes on the book.
Yeah. I will say, first off, I feel like people are fucking haters, man. The extreme, like, I was lied to about this book, like, da 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 da, like, y'all are scheming and trying to hype this book up for what I liked it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I ran right through it. It's not original by any means, but it was fast paced enough that I was keeping up and I felt like there was a lot going on and I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. 3.5, 4-ish.
Oh, okay, so you only gave it 3.5, 4 stars out of
Yeah,
5.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like I mean, you and I talked about this a little bit. My opinion differed just a little bit in that I completely agree. Far too many people have been like hateful about it.
Hmm.
I think where that might come from is it was anything you overhype is going to let you down.
Oh yeah. Managing
Anything.
expectations, that's what we teach in
Right.
therapy. Yeah.
Right. It is. And I think that's a huge part of what happened. People
Hmm.
rushed out and got a $30 book and expected this to change their lives.
Hmm.
And it, for me, it didn't. Like
Hmm.
there was, especially after just having gone through Fourth Wing, and we've got a lot of really great like 6-star books that I have on my TBR, like The Will of the Many and things like
Hmm.
that. So to me it felt like, wow, I did like spend nearly $30 on a book that was like, it was entertaining, right? I
Hmm.
do think what you and I both read for is entertainment. I was entertained, but my connection, and let's put it this way, my connection to the book and my itching desire and need for like the next book to come out, or like the next like book from that author to come out is very meh.
Yeah.
It'll go lower on my TBR than a lot of other really great books when, if and when I were to see that,
Hmm.
because I just I was just like, cool, yeah, I'm glad it ended the way that it did for the people involved.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like, I'm gonna lose my mind if I don't get this book tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, I
not.
agree. It was a very like in the moment type book. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this is fun. Let me read. Da da da. I sped through it. But then afterwards, I'm like, okay, that was fun. That was done. Like, I'm
Right.
not. It's not a fourth wing. I'm my Roman Empire. Like thinking about that every single day. But in the moment, I had a lot of fun. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, it was fun. It was one, it was easy to keep the pages turning. But I will agree, one of the tropes that I'm not super into, and maybe that should be a question of the day in the future, is one of the
Hmm.
tropes I'm not into is the like, it, only if it's done super well, is the he's my enemy, but I saw his like muscles gleaming in the sunlight. It's just like, bro, he murdered your family. Like, who I would not be, no, I don't care how gorgeous you are. I don't care.
Yeah.
That's a trope I'm not into, and I
Yeah.
felt like wasn't done incredibly artfully and
Yeah.
Silver Elite.
Nice. That was
Where
fun.
does Cross fall on your book boyfriends list?
Oh, I haven't updated.
We need
I
to get the white. We need to get you a whiteboard.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Maybe next episode I'll update my list. But
Yeah,
I
yeah,
also realize I need to make a separate book boyfriend list of like realistic, like contemporary romance who are actual people versus like fantasy.
right. Actually, I would like to see them in their compiled list right now to see
Right
how many of them are in no way realistic and
right
how many of
now
them
they
are.
are they are compiled in that way. So,
Right.
and I will say top three are fairy shadow daddies. So yeah, I'll have to update that and reveal it in the next episode.
Well, I'm pumped to talk about Acker today.
Me
Just
too.
just based on that area of things. I think it's gonna be so fun talking
Yeah.
this through. So, shall we?
Yeah, we shall. Let's start. So
All
we
right.
we read chapters 21 through 30. So we finished
Mhm.
chapter 30. We left off them on the boat holding on for dear fucking life.
With tentacles wrapping around the
Yeah.
ship
Yeah,
and
yeah.
all that.
So we'll do chapter 21. What happened in chapter 21?
I've got my little notes.
Do you want to start?
She dreamed Bryn. I'm still going to call her Bryn. I'm sorry. Until the
You
book
know.
fully transitions over. Like, I think we said this last episode. She is Bryn. We like the name Bryn better. Rachel Schneider, but no hate. We like Bryn.
Yeah.
Bryn fits her better.
Yeah.
But Bryn dreamed about herself, Acker, and I believe it was Hollis, the
Yeah.
friend
Hmm.
from childhood. They wake up after the big storm and they talk about crushes in this chapter. And wow, my handwriting is messy there. What did I say? Whoa. What does that say? Distance from Ren helping with memory. Oh, so as they're getting
Hmm.
away from, there we go. As we're getting further away from the water or closer to land, maybe, that her memories are starting to trickle in dreams and what feel like flashbacks.
Hmm.
And and then I wrote some note that just says beautiful when you're, and I think there's a part there where they keep on doing this cute little thing where they're like, you're beautiful when you're, I forget what it was, like when you're
Yeah.
mad or
Yeah, yeah.
when you're lying or stuff like that.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
know.
So
So
that's
sweet.
basically that's the gist of this chapter. What
Yeah.
stood out to you?
Well, the whole crush thing was super cute. So he
Yeah.
admitted that he loved her. They were like 9. He was 9, she was 7. So when they were super young, and then apparently she disappeared literally the day after. Like, what? That's so sad.
Yeah. And what's so cute, it reminds me, I have a little cousin named Quinn, and he's had like a little girlfriend that he says, like, oh yeah, I love my girlfriend. And
Hmm.
they're like 6. It's
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, this reminds me of that. It's so sweet.
Yeah, so cute. Her memories are coming back, so that's exciting. And the thing about him being so mysterious about his match,
Yeah.
just I'm like, okay, it's probably he probably means her. Like I'm trying to read
Yeah.
between the lines and trying to see if like is it her? Do you think it's her?
I do. I'm definitely leaning towards it's her, but the thing that I still can't make sense of is the whole thing where he said her eyes are every color or whatever, and I think we
Hmm.
found out her eyes are like a silver, right? And so then that wouldn't line up because when he described his mate, so there has to be some sort of way to explain that. I don't know, does her magic turn her eye colors?
Hmm.
Does Is he just describing how her eyes make him feel? Like, I don't know, I'm trying to find a way to justify
Yeah.
how it doesn't fit, but that how it could potentially fit.
Yeah. I'm wondering if, like, because Ren had this magical hold over him that,
Yeah.
I mean, over her, that did, does that make her eyes gray like they were Kai's?
Right.
Like,
Did it
was it a
drain
spell?
her like
Mm-hmm.
magic or power that
Mm-hmm.
like actually quite literally drained her color?
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I think it's her. I think he means yeah, it's her, but I guess
I'll
we'll
definitely be
see.
looking for
Yeah.
anything that
Oh,
says like, oh, her eyes were a hint of green. I'll be like, oh, it's coming back.
it's changing. It's not
It's
gray
changing.
anymore. Yeah.
But yeah, the conversation about crushes super cute. And like you said, there is a point where she claims that his match is a lie. And she's like saying, like, whoa, I'm surprised you're so willing to be indecent
Mm-hmm.
when you're matched. And he does a good job of, I think, sleuthing around it a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
where he's describing it's like, whoa, just because we're matched doesn't mean that we're necessarily like betrothed or that
Right.
we're
She hasn't accepted the match, is I think what
right.
the thing was.
Yeah, my match hasn't claimed me. Yeah, that's what it
Mm-hmm.
was.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole like I've waited a long time for my match to claim me. And so I do. Do you think it's Bryn?
I do. I do.
If it wasn't, that'd be a real
I
real ball
know, like
buster.
what's with all the hiding around
It's
it? Like
it's Tiffany. She's over there. Hey Tiffany. you know, like,
yeah, I will be sorely upset. But
yeah.
all the signs point to their mates. So
Now I'm just picturing some chick in the corner. It's like, oh, I crack myself up. All right. Well,
yes.
I think that's all I have for this one.
Yeah, me too. So we're gonna combine 22, 23, and 24, I believe, because they're all generally the same premise. Basically, they're on this boat, still looking
We're
for land,
still on the boat.
still on a fucking boat. Now they're getting really hungry and really thirsty, and a lot of sexual tension happening.
Yeah.
Them
Yeah.
swimming with the stars. So this whole like the stars are so low that they look like they're part of the ocean, and so they go and swim, and it's so romantic.
You wanted to be there. You wanted to be there.
How
Yeah.
beautiful. And then by the end they the blue gets a seagull, which means there's land nearby. But that's pretty
Hello.
much those three chapters.
I love my notes on these pages. I just have to share these. I just had to note while I was reading. And the author, Rachel, got into this a little bit in later chapters, but I wrote hair or no hair. Remember, she's on a boat with leg and armpit hair growing. And so I was like thinking about like the sexual tension, and I was like, but like we're getting coily armpit hair at this point. Like it's getting wiry, it's getting rough. And so I was just like, I was thinking about the reality of, they've now, I don't know how long they've been on this boat. They've been on it days, weeks.
Probably weeks.
So that's about to get real rough. I need to come back to one thing because it's a question for us. But next is I put a post-it note. I felt this was important. He naps. I put
Amazing writing,
another.
man.
I know. I put another. She sleeps
And this is
because
why we
that
combine the chapters.
we combined the chapters for this reason. I said because that's where the author started to get the realistic, nature of being on a boat. Love the realistic nature of this. She
Love
says she
smelling.
reeks, and he
Yes.
says, I know. I was like, finally, a
Finally.
fantasy book that's being real about this stuff. You know, you think about the other books we've read where they're riding dragons for weeks on end and then they're like boinking each other. And it's just like,
Yeah.
they reek. They're
It
not these like, you know, just smell great all the time. Like this is warfare. This is
it
disgusting.
it did take her 200 pages to finally get
It
to the
did.
realistic.
But you know what, I'm not kidding. I love that about this because that to me is making me love Acker more.
Mm-hmm.
It's not this idealized version
Mm-hmm.
of Bryn.
Mm.
He's seeing like all of the
She
good, the
smells.
bad, the
Yeah.
ugly.
Mm-hmm.
And it appears that he is just deeply in love with her. I also wrote Nikki under the stars.
Yeah.
Nikki question mark because I was like, they were Nikki, right?
Mm-hmm.
Blue eats seagull, spots island, pukes.
Yeah, I wanted to know why is Bryn yakking?
Right before that, it's a dizzy spell hits me like a wave, and I have to squeeze my eyes shut to stop the world from turning on its side.
Yeah, I didn't understand where that came from. Any theories?
The only like, thing that I can see or think of is like she says the heat is brutal, so it might just be the wear and tear of like heat, no food, you're on like a boat, like it could, you know, it could be one of those things where she's hiding something behind that
Yeah.
in the writing.
Yeah.
But it could also be, oh, in the middle of slicing a fish fillet for drying, the first wave of nausea hits me. I don't think much of it.
Yeah.
So maybe
I mean,
there is something to this.
yeah, my thought that I just had just now is that is it because she's getting closer to land?
Yeah, like is it part of beginning the awakening
Think,
process that
yeah.
like, you know, just starts to suck before you even hit land?
Yeah. Yeah.
Possible. But
Mm-hmm.
something to flag for the
Mm-hmm.
future that maybe there's
Yeah.
something there. The really important question I wanted to bring us back to the question at the beginning of chapter 22. Would you rather never eat bread again or only have bread to eat for the rest of your life?
Never have bread again.
Say why.
Because like Acker, there's meat. Why would you need bread?
Okay, so you're with Acker on that one.
Yeah, I could live without bread, quite honestly.
I do think I would. I love bread. It's so good. I sent my sister. My sister actually has COVID,
Oh no.
and so I, you know, and she doesn't live near me, so I was like, well, do you need a little care package? So I sent her soup from Whole Foods, and I sent her a baguette, and I was like, oh, I want a
That looks
baguette.
good. Yeah.
Oh, I want a baguette. It'd be really hard to never have bread again, but I've done keto and it's torture, but at least I know I could do it.
Yeah. There you go.
So I guess we're both no bread. Oh, that hurts
No
to say.
bread.
That hurts so bad. Moving on. I skip
That's
past that before I cry. Chapter
yeah.
25.
Yeah, chapter 25. So this chapter, they finally make it to shore. It's to Royson, which is I had to go back in the book and look this up. It's the place where the supposed kidnapper of Bryn like rules or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
And so Acker's really kind of against going to this land, like doesn't think they'll be welcome. And so, but Bryn insists. And so now they have to be discreet when they get on land. And now I guess Bryn is experiencing her awakening.
My question about this, it was so easy. Like there's either something to it or they just had to like cut down the writing. Why was it so like when we say Bryn protested, this was she literally just said, what did she say? She said he just looked at her and said, how bad is it? Meaning her head. And she said, I'm fine. And then he basically right after that just says, like, okay, fine, we'll go to shore. Did that stand out to you at all? Or am I making something up here? It was so he was like, well, these are the people who kidnapped you. And then she's like, well, like my tummy hurts. And he was like, okay.
And we might be going into future chapters here, but she said she was fine. So I'm assuming because his big concern was that she wasn't going to make it, right? But because she was able to tell him oh, I'm fine. Like he said, okay, we'll go to shore or whatever.
Yeah, because I mean, he was all like, no,
Yeah.
he sees the land and he realizes that it's what are we calling it?
Royson,
Rio,
Royce,
Royson. Okay,
Royson,
Royson,
yeah.
Royson.
Royson.
Um, that you almost see like the terror kind of set in where he's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, shit, like this is not where we want to be. I would rather be out on the open water again than go there with you. And to me, it just felt like such a quick turnaround that it
Mm-hmm.
was just like her head hurt and her stomach hurt. And then he was like, okay, well, as long as you follow my orders. I don't know.
Yeah.
That to me just felt it was, uh, I don't know. I'm thinking this through. If I'm on a boat and these are the people who kidnapped me apparently in the
Mm-hmm.
past or whatever, and if he's saying like they're basically not militant in but like they will probably hunt us and we
Mm-hmm.
will not be safe there to just be like okay, I think we could do it, like
Yeah.
it felt quick to me. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
making something out of nothing.
No, that's fair. It's also they haven't found land in so long. So I'm wondering if that also had to do with it. Knowing that Bryn wasn't as bad as maybe he thought she would be getting so close to
Yeah.
shore.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe there's something to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe there's the like maybe your awakening won't be that bad and that
Mm-hmm.
you can we can do it and move on.
Mm-hmm.
um okay, maybe yeah, I do have a little post-it note. You see that?
It says this is the kind of love you want. Ooh.
On the page I underlined the part where he's like, he doesn't bother asking my permission before reaching down and placing a hand under my legs to lift me from the water. And there's just something to like, of course we're big advocates of like, you want every like anytime someone like touches you, gets in your space, like yeah, you want it to be consensual, but they know each other and he's not doing it to touch her, he's doing it to take care of her, to help her. And really the part that made me write that on that page was the part where she says, please don't put me on the ground, because she can feel the awakening being so just disgustingly painful.
Mhm.
And he just looks at her and says the only way through is through. He doesn't like, I feel like any of these other just men are the ones who be like, oh, you hurt, oh, you can't handle it, oh, you go over here and we take care of you. No, no, we do another day,
Yeah, yeah.
like it's just I love his love.
I hear your Zayden perspective on this of like him.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean that's what people like about
Yeah.
Zayden.
Yeah.
That's what they like about the shadow daddy is
Hmm.
he's like, no, she's powerful.
She
Yeah,
can, yeah.
I'll fight for her, but she can fight for herself too. I like
Live,
him.
live.
What else?
What
Oh,
do we
he
think?
introduces the little plant that he feeds her to help
Mm-hmm.
her get through her awakening. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
little leafy guy.
Yeah. Do you have any theories about Royson?
Because really, I mean, I'm so glad that you had to go back too, because I had to go back. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's one thing if you read this all the way through, but if you read this over the course of like a month and you're
Mm-hmm.
halfway through the book, you're like, wait, who are they again?
Yeah.
Um, so I had to go back too. But really, all we know about them is that they're the ones that had the guy who was accused of kidnapping her, but they found out that it was a false admittance. Is that the
Yeah, yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
And they don't know why.
Yeah.
Good
Part
to
of me
know
is
that I'm tracking.
I feel like part of me's almost like sus that maybe Royson isn't a bad place. You know what I mean? Like they make it out to be this like horrible,
Right.
don't go there, but will we find out that it's maybe all like some
Mm-hmm.
misunderstanding and they're
Mm-hmm.
actually allies or whatever. So interesting that they make it out to be
Yeah.
really like a horrible place.
Those are the only three kingdoms that we've heard anything really in depth about, right? Is Kenta, Alaha, and Royson,
Royson. And I mean,
right?
is her land is Meili,
Oh,
right?
that's
Meili.
true. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Melee. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess my thoughts on that are that it's possible.
Hmm.
That there's some sort of plot twist that we'll see. Like we're being led in the direction of all these people are bad.
Hmm.
But I also think that I don't know. I feel like this whole scene that we're coming up to, it could have gone very differently if they really meant to do harm. Do you know what I
Hmm.
mean? So I guess we can talk about that when we get to it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, okay. Anything else for that chapter?
No, chapter 26.
Chapter 26. So this one's a short one. Basically, just Bryn still recovering from her awakening. That's all I got.
Yeah, she has dream. Blue is on guard as Acker carries her around asleep. Boat
Yeah.
capsized. Blue on patrol, and he force feeds another leaf. I love my bullet points
So
personally.
great. Yeah, so okay, so Blue's becoming
I
useful.
love
I
Blue.
know. Him and
We're gonna
Acker.
love Blue
Yeah,
even
yeah.
more.
So Acker's actually depending on him, which is great. And yeah,
Enemies
so
to lovers. The real enemies
the
to
real
lovers trope.
yeah. Yeah, so their boat was well, not identified, but found.
Mhm,
And so now they know that they are
mhm.
on the land. So now they're being sought after, but
I wrote Blue is a G. And at the end of chapter at the end of the chapter, I just wrote, because again, this was 2 pages. So again, nothing happened.
sleeps. Yeah. Sleeps. Well, great.
27.
27. Again, they're on the run. Still on the run. Acker's still carrying her. They keep going into the land, and then apparently it's been 4 days of Bryn experiencing this awakening, which
Yeah,
is a lot longer. Not a lot longer,
yeah.
but
It's like
Acker's
double.
yeah, Acker said it would probably take 2 to 3 days, and now it's
Yeah,
4, and she's still having these horrible symptoms or whatever. So
yeah.
sounds like it's a bit worrisome for them.
She vomited on him while she was asleep.
While she was on his shoulder, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Like
My
she had
notes for this, I'm my goal is to make my notes as unhinged as possible
yeah.
when possible. If she vomits on him asleep,
Yep.
dream about bear.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Blue can count.
Clicking the beats. I mean the his beak, yeah.
This what is this? Who is this bird? He can count. Band of rebels tracking and rock slinger? Question mark.
Mm. No, so he
The minerals,
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
metals.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Shows Acker's power.
so we'll go there, and then we'll go back to the bird being able to count and the dream about the bear.
Amazing.
But basically, he at the end of this chapter creates a bridge
Hmm.
over a massive river for them to be able
Hmm.
to cross. Do you think that was just a demonstration of his power?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And I we find it later on in the I don't want to spoil it, but clearly his power is metal slinging. So now my mind's
Now we're
like,
like, wait, is she the metal slinger or is
no,
he the metal slinger?
right. Well, now I don't think she's a metal slinger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
he's literally done that and she hasn't done anything. She's done her dagger. And he already explained that
Yeah.
because she made the dagger, that's why she was able to do that.
Right.
But him, on the other hand, is doing all sorts of shit. Like, yeah. So,
So is the book named after Acker?
is he your main character? Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
I think he is, which I'm
I
not
am
mad about.
same question, same
Yeah.
thoughts, same
Yeah.
wavelengths, so that's good. So I guess we'll see, right?
Mhm.
Because she's in her 4th day of the awakening. We find out even more in the next couple of chapters that we'll talk about that feels really relevant to this
Yeah.
conversation. But yeah, that feels interesting. It's like, so
Hmm.
you're just like the big buildup just for her to be another metal slinger? Probably not.
Probably
Um,
not. Yeah. I mean, as cool, I think Acker's power is really cool,
yeah,
but is it cool enough for it to also be Bryn? You know what I mean? Like, it's
yeah,
not that cool. Like,
yeah. No, it's
it's
like
cool for Acker.
yeah, it's like a Marvel movie coming out with like Iron Man, and then
Yeah.
they go, "We have another movie coming out." They're like, "Cool, what's this
Iron.
guy gonna have?" Iron Man.
That's
And you're
exactly
like,
right.
okay, so like he's cool, but like
That's actually really good. That's so funny. Yeah.
but back to the bird. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
What cognitive abilities does this like? Could I give this bird like a waist and a cognitive eval? What would he be able to do?
I don't know. But
And he
I,
like understands English. Did we
yeah.
know that before?
Yeah. I
Just
mean,
is he magic on this land? Like what? I have so many questions about this
right.
damn bird. Is
Especially
the bird the main character?
I do want to say, I feel like this bird is some sort of like guardian angel or something, right? Because it was her pet in Alaha
Yeah.
and it's found her again and now it's doing all these things. So
Yeah.
there's probably a person spirit in there because he's smart as
But he
hell
can he can understand questions and answer them with clicks of his beak. He can count.
and
So
eat people
basically,
and eat people
he's
apparently.
and eat people. That's coming. Yeah. But he's basically at least a third grader. It's what we're learning. Without the ability to speak himself, he doesn't have vocal cords. He's
Right.
basically a third grader, at least
Right.
a violent one, though. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the bear. There's something to this bear. This
The
bear dream.
dream. Mm.
I
Hmm.
mean, well, we could talk about that. We'll talk
Yeah,
about that
well,
in a couple more.
later. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
28.
Yeah, chapter 28.
Here's my unhinged notes. Why you tasting dirt, girl? Royson look like Alaha.
Blonde.
Mm-hmm. We meet Vad,
Mm-hmm.
who is an oracle of
Mm-hmm.
Rios. Rios. I always want to say Riosin. It doesn't even
Royson.
not even phonetically nice. He knows Acker well. Calls him Ace. I wrote down, quote unquote, now that you've returned home. So this was previously Acker's home,
Mm.
or were they talking to Bryn?
Some of that
I
was
guess we can stop
confusing.
there.
Where do we even start with this one?
I mean, we can start with the dirt because, like, that was like, what is she doing? She tried to eat the dirt.
And he just laughed at her.
It's called pica.
Yeah.
Don't eat it.
Wait, that's the when you just eat in
Inedible stuff.
yeah, yeah. Just 'cause. Yeah.
Yeah.
And usually it's kids. Children.
Yeah. Acker literally like looks at her like,
What the fuck?
what you doing?
Yeah. Well,
She goes,
okay.
I don't know why I did that. I don't know why you did that either, girl.
Yeah. Also, I put a post-it here of on the first page where she says, Acker's not my friend. He's been with me along the way, but he's only here due to a promise to my mother. And I don't know how much longer it'll take us to reach Kenta, but our time together is coming to an end. And I was just like, what?
Oh, wait, where was that again?
That little first page on chapter 28. She says, I don't know how much longer it'll take us to reach Kenta, but our time together is coming to an end. And I'm like, uh-huh, don't fucking piss me off. Like, what do you mean your time is coming to
Oh,
an end? And I just totally
agreed.
did not understand like what her reasoning was for that.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I when I was reading that, I noted it. It's like, wait, are we switching perspectives or but no, that wouldn't make sense. But then, and I kept kind of doing that in my head, but I didn't underline it. So clearly I was like, I guess into it.
She says Acker's not my friend. I'm like, what? He's literally you're in his memory. Like or you have memories of him as your friend.
Yeah. We're gonna have to really note that and keep that for the future because she just dropped it there. Rachel just was like,
Mm-hmm.
there you go.
Yeah.
We're all what?
What? Yeah.
So I guess we just table that. Definitely noteworthy. We found out what the bear dream was.
Hollis.
Hollis used to scare you with stories of a bear he called Fang Hands. He would wait for little girls with like pretty dresses to go by or something like that. So I don't know what this bear. I don't know if it's just as we're doing this, I'm like trying to think about like what is the author trying to tell me by doing this, and it could be just as simple as she's trying to share that her memories and connections to people are coming back. But
Hmm.
then I'm left with the question of, is this something that's important, or is this something that is just supposed to convey that?
I mean, she says, I don't have many positive thoughts regarding your friend Hallis. Sounds like a rightful, and I assume she was going to say prick, but yeah, just I took it as memories are coming back, and she's, as a child, Hallis was a jerk and, mean,
Yeah.
but maybe that through the years and all these, now, like, if they ever meet again, like, it'll be different, but
Oh, now I'm kind of excited for that. I didn't even think about that. They're
yeah,
probably going to reunite at some point. Oh, I
yeah.
love that. Oh, I like that idea.
But yeah,
Well,
so
shall we go to
yeah.
Vad?
Yep, that. So he
Oh,
immediately knows who she is, what she's thinking, what they're
yeah.
both thinking,
It's in her head.
because he is an oracle and can read minds. Scaly.
Yeah, I mean, that is pretty terrifying. She did a lot of writing in this that was just conveying how terrifying it would be to just know that someone's in your head and there's nothing you can do about it. That's
Hmm.
scary. I thought it was really interesting how quickly, like, she's clearly showing how talented of an oracle he is,
Hmm.
because basically Acker, I did think it was interesting. Another one of those moments where Acker was like, get out. And he goes like, okay. You know what I mean? There's a couple of moments like that where I'm like, really? No, it's not. That was, you didn't have to like distract him with knives or something to get him to get out of
Yeah.
her. It was just like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder what their relationship was for them to know each other that well.
Yeah. How did they know each other? I mean, he talks about how he's a deserter, like
Hmm.
how Vad is a deserter, and Vad calls him like bloodthirsty. So I don't, is there anything else that we can make sense of there at this point?
Not really, except so the people that he was with, that Vad was with, those rebels or whatever, he said that he wasn't in charge of them. I mean, it doesn't seem like he was there to, like, what was he there for? He was there
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And is he just a pawn?
Mm.
Like, because of his power, he doesn't have power over the rebels, the soldiers, whatever you call them,
Hmm.
that are there surrounding Acker and Bryn. Is he being used for his abilities?
Yeah. Yeah, because he did, that was his whole thing, right? Was he wanted Acker's memory or his
Yeah,
memories. He like did that blood oath and promised him a healer for Bryn if he would let him into his brain or his
right.
mind. So what is why? What
Well,
is the
clearly, I mean, to your point, I didn't really think about it like that, but that makes sense. He searched her brain and clearly didn't find what he wanted. So then he moved on to like trying, because Acker's got his shields up or whatever,
Hmm.
and it's the Silver Elite coming out, whatever they call it.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
But that there's something very specific that he wants from
yeah. Hmm.
Acker, and the Acker and him have this relationship where Vad is the deserter oracle, and Acker is the bloodthirsty rebel in his own way. So there's something there, and I do agree with you that I think that that there's maybe something that's not so bad about, like, we're being led to believe that, this community, this kingdom is the bad one or one of the bad
Hmm.
ones.
Hmm.
Maybe they're not. Maybe there's just something,
Yeah.
I don't know. And I do think Bad could have. He's got 9 soldiers. I know Acker's really, or is it 10? I don't know, I forget. He's clearly incredibly lethal, but I still think that, like, if they knew how lethal Acker is and who they're after, then they clearly thought that they could take him, maybe.
Which is dumb.
Yeah, which is real
Because,
dumb considering how that went.
right. Because next thing we know, those guys are down.
So the
Hacker.
arrow that came through the air. So
Uh-huh.
the series of events is an arrow flies through the air. It comes like straight into like her sternum.
Yeah, her like chest.
Yeah, and then right like in a millisecond, Acker pulls the knives from all of the rebels' belts and stabs the one adjacent, and they're all
Hmm.
dead in a heartbeat. And so then it's just Vad standing there, and they're doing a blood oath.
That was no, that was before. Or that blood oath was before.
That's right. It was before. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Oh, no, 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 you're right. After that. he does the blood oath because he's like, you're just gonna kill us anyways, like
Yeah.
not gonna tell you where the healer is.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. And then does the blood oath, but the blood oath is I won't hurt you.
Yeah.
I won't hurt you as long as Jovi lives. Didn't say anything about the bird.
Yeah. And then our sweet little third grader Blue
Yeah.
attacks. I loved that.
And they're off.
I just had a note that says, "What do you think about this bad guy?" Who
Bad?
knows? Maybe he's not. Yeah. What do we think about bad?
I don't know if he's a bad guy. Like I said, like you said,
Yeah.
he might just be a pawn where he
Mhm.
has this power that he can use for whatever reason,
Mhm.
but I don't know. Do you get the bad guy vibe?
I think he's a bad guy, but I think that there's something else going on with like his connection to all of this that's going to be maybe a flip the script
Mm,
situation. So I don't know that it's something with him specifically. I think it's more about the kingdom motivations. But maybe it's not even a flip the script. We're just gonna like be given this big aha moment as to what their role in all of this is,
yeah.
and that everything's going to really click and be like, oh shoot. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Super advanced stuff.
We'll see.
This is what the people come here for.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother. Well, that's chapter 28. Anything else?
No, 29 is short. So I want to do 29 and 30.
Yeah, we can do 29 and 30. So, well, 29 was a memory,
Mm-hmm.
and she is in Acker's mind. It sounds like it's right before he gets on that ship to go to Alaha to get Jovi or to get Bryn.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So that little Hollis, that moment with Hollis when he says what his plan is to go get her.
That's the
Sweet.
cutest.
No, sweet. And Hollis seems like, I mean, he's obviously still there, still a friend. And this scene that we see, like, he seems like rooting for her, not or rooting for him to actually go get her. You know what I mean? Like when you guys see each other again, hopefully it's better than the first
Yeah.
time. How
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah, I know. This is so sweet. Yeah, I love the like, what if she's too far gone? And he's just like, I can't abandon her.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he went because you know, the current understanding is that if you go there, you don't come back.
Mm-hmm. He
And
was gonna
he
risk
just loves her
everything.
that
I
much.
know.
And he doesn't even know if she's there or if she's too far gone or whatever. It's
Yeah.
one thing to go and risk if you know the person's there and conscious and is like kidnapped and is just
Mhm.
waiting to be rescued. You go like, okay, well at least I know that. But
Yeah.
he went without knowing if she was just completely mentally taken over
Right.
by their
Hmm.
persuasions, and
Hmm.
it's just the best. It's just the best. I just love him. I just love him
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah. And I think the way that this chapter was presented as her in Acker's mind is pretty cool. Like
Yeah.
now we're seeing it more in depth, like where her memories and her mind is going. So, which leads us to chapter 30.
Yeah, I went into chapter 30 with goosebumps.
Yeah.
I have to before we like go into the 30. I just have to know at this point, how are you feeling about Acker?
Love him. Are you
Yeah.
kidding? Yeah. No, there's been a lot of tension, which I love, and banter, which I love.
But there's something really unique about this tension. Like I mean, if we're calling back to Silver Elite a little bit, um, without, it's no secret. I don't think this is a spoiler. Is, that whole like enemies to lovers
Mhm.
thing. And then in the relationship, it was something I didn't particularly like about the book was the predictability of it. This The way that the tension is building is so like they're both still their really independent selves, and of course like there's something building there, but that Acker's still just being Acker and Bryn's still just being Bryn. And the tension is really subtle but powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, oh, like his, cheek brushed mine and like,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, well, obviously, like they're feeling like that chemistry. But this is like he's just being out, he's just standing up for her, fighting for her, empowering her, all those things. And they're kind of just side by side, parallel process, like
Yeah.
admiring each other without making it the forefront of what they're doing and thinking about. I don't know if that makes
Yeah.
any sense,
No,
but
it does. It
this
does.
is much more artful to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's subtle enough where it doesn't feel like it's forced,
Yeah.
but it's also obvious enough that you feel it and you feel the giddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think part of what I like about it is there's the almost the won't wait, won't
It's definitely a slow
won't they?
burn.
But there's
Yeah.
also a won't they? Like, wait,
Mm-hmm.
is there a chance they won't?
Mm-hmm.
And it's making me be like, no, that has to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's kind of what it is. So,
Yeah. Is this a YA book? Like, what do we?
yeah, there's honestly, well, and I know that the version we're reading is the non like formally published
Yeah.
version. And I'm kind of glad we have this because
Yeah.
it's like the text
Yeah.
would make me the way it's printed would maybe
Yeah.
make me think YA, but
Yeah.
anyways. I'm
The
sorry
slow
for my diversion.
No, it's okay. The slow burn is slow burning.
It's
So,
slow burning and I really like it.
yeah. But chapter 30 is interesting. So we meet a few
Mm-hmm.
more characters. Fia, is that her name?
Maybe. Fia. Fia.
Fia, yes. She's the healer. So she was healed at a place, but then after she was healed, took her to her house, and that's
Mm-hmm.
where she lives with her husband and son.
Mm-hmm.
And they are finally eating some good food, and they seem to know Acker and Bryn.
Oh, I read this chapter last night and I might have just been sleepy and didn't pick up on it, but
Because, well, so the thing that stood out to me was the bowing thing. They're literally bowing to her
yeah.
when they
Yeah, I
meet
was
her.
tired. You're going to be
Hmm.
more useful for this chapter than
No,
I
it's okay. And Bryn has in and out been able to voyeur into Acker's mind. And so now we're kind of seeing like, okay, is this her? Is this her?
Right.
And okay, and the big thing that I noted was Fia actually calls Acker a metal slinger in this
Oh,
chapter.
yeah. Yeah.
My note was like, okay, wait. So he's the metal slinger, not her. Because she also tries to do a little power, and he's like, no, that's not your power.
Yeah. So you answered some questions for me
Okay.
because clearly I was tired because I was like, dude, why is this healer just like, yeah, come back to my house and you're an enemy territory. That's fine. We'll house you.
Mm-hmm.
I like that I noticed that she finally took Jovi, like she's adopting Jovi. So if
Mm-hmm.
she's doing it,
I
fine. I'll do
guess.
it.
I guess.
Twist my arm. Yeah, I was curious about that. I was like, this is an interesting dynamic, but now it makes a lot more sense. Oh, we kind of missed this in the last chapter, but Vad said that she's dying. Like he
Mm-hmm.
actually said she's dying. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why the arrow was the final nail in the coffin of like, we need to find a healer.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But they were going to need to find one anyways, because Vad was saying, whatever it was, like we don't know, was her awakening not going well? Was she being too overwhelmed by the power and her body couldn't handle it, so she was going to
Yeah.
die? Like there was something happening there. So clearly she's like so powerful in whatever her power is that I think that's what it was, that her body couldn't handle it, but that he did say that she was dying, and that when she was finishing her awakening, I guess, that she singed her clothes off.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was one of her questions, right? Was the like, so is that part of my power? And he was like, no, that's not part of your power.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of like, to me, it's not a big deal at all that like, so she singed her clothes off. So she was in front of all of them being healed, like just hanging out in her birthday suit. One could be like, dude, he saw her naked. But I didn't really take it that way. I took it as like, they're so comfortable and just like realistic,
Mm-hmm.
even in the way she writes this. Like clearly Jovi didn't know that she was when she was going through this. So that doesn't mean anything. But like he's just so matter of fact about it. Like he's not, other books and authors would be sitting here being like saying something about how he noticed like certain curves of her body or
Mm,
something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I love that that's not in here. I
yeah,
love that. I love that
yeah.
that maybe it'll
He
come
just
up.
did it. Yeah, he just did it
He's
because she
just like,
needed to do
yeah,
it, or she
it's
he needed
so,
to. Mm-hmm.
I don't know, to me that's so manly. It's just like the, yeah, she went through her awakening. Like if nothing, if he said anything about it, it'd be like she was stunning in that she like watching her come into her power. That was like the coolest, most beautiful moment I could have possibly asked for.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing about like, oh, the curve of this or like the, I was just like, freak yeah. I'm so glad they haven't said anything about that.
So they talk about her eyes in this one.
They do. They do.
The color, they're talking about her trousers, a deep russet color.
Mhm.
So like a reddish,
Like I picture a russet, I can look it
like
up,
a
but I picture a
brownish
russet as like a
reddish.
brownish red.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's what I pictured too. She said it brings out the color of your eyes. So I don't assume that's
You're
gray. So what color could her eyes be at this point? I don't think it's gray.
Well, maybe. So I'm still hoping for this because I would
Mm-hmm.
just feel like, gosh, I'm a genius if it happens. Is if just as she develops her power, gets closer to home, like the
Mm-hmm.
elements of what make her her come back into her, that the different colors will come into her eyes. And
Yeah,
if that's the
somewhere.
case, I'm not kidding. I get goosebumps because other authors, Rachel, we need to talk because I really like the way she does things. It's has the typical tropes, but she does them in a different and unique way.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas other authors might have done something like, oh, her hair slowly turned silver
Mm-hmm.
and or something like that. But it just feels different. Like she's done something unique with this.
That's obviously been on one of our theories of like eye color. So anytime the eyes are mentioned,
I know eyes.
eyes, spidey
um
senses.
I love this chapter. So this is really, I mean, those are kind of our key things to this is for me recapping
Mm-hmm.
is, your idea about this like so the book is named Metal Slinger. Clearly he's the Metal Slinger. So what happens here?
Yeah.
We've heard there's a twist in this book. I'm waiting for it. Is there a mid book twist in this?
I swear I saw, yeah, I think there is, and I don't believe we've gotten there yet,
Because I've
obviously.
been waiting for
I've been
it
waiting too.
and I'm
Yeah.
scared it's coming soon and I don't know if I'm prepared.
Yeah, so he's the metal slinger. She's also his mate that he keeps talking about.
We
We're
think
not
so, yeah.
sure.
That's tied to the eye colors.
Is Royson a good place or a bad place?
Right. Or what twist is there coming about that place connected to her original kidnapping?
I guess to end this chapter, though, Fia's family insists that they go and take them to wherever they need to
Yeah.
go. Which makes it seem like, okay, maybe this is a dangerous place, but is it for the same reasons we think it is, or what?
And they see, I don't have any question about I don't have any question about their loyalties, like the family's
Oh, the
loyalties.
family. Yeah, yeah.
But you do think about how their rationale was sound, where they were like, people already know you're here. If they see two
Mm-hmm.
people traveling, you're already not getting
Mm-hmm.
through without coming across someone. If
Mm-hmm.
you just go you two, you're going to stand out like a sore thumb because you're who
Yeah.
everyone's looking for. If you travel in a group, you might be a little bit, stealthier. Yeah, the metal slinger is right. I just got to that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Ugh. Is there
I think
anything
that's
else?
it. No, I think that's it. So good.
I'm loving this. I'm so excited that I can read more.
That was fun.
Through chapter 30,
Through chapter
episode
30.
3. Next week, we do 31 through
40.
chapter 40.
Yes.
And
Cool.
yay! Thank you.
Yay.